So, hi everyone, my name is YY. I'm the founder of the Relationship Center of Colorado. I'm a relationship expert and coach. I'm also a certified sex therapist too. This is my monthly Facebook Live. I decided to do my live on YouTube too. So, for this time, we're gonna talk about how to manage conflicts in relationships. That's, I think, a really big topic right now, especially given the pandemic. Also, all the protest that's going on, it's increasing a lot of anxiety, increasing a lot of tension, hence more conflicts in everybody's life right now, internally and externally. So I decided to do this live, right? Talk about managing conflict in relationships. A lot of people are not comfortable having conflicts in their relationships because it's uncomfortable, because they have the fear that if we have conflicts means the relationship is not going to last. If we have conflicts, it's going to cause more damage in our life, in our relationship as well. So I just want to bust some myth tonight about why when relationships are having conflicts, not always a bad thing. So first thing first, having conflicts in a relationship, it's very common. Actually, you have to have conflicts in a relationship. It's a must. It's not even something that you want. I will say conflicts in a relationship, it's a must. Think about life, right? Life, it's not always easy. Life always has something good going on, something bad going on. It goes up and down. So having, why I say it's a must to have conflicts in a relationship means that without conflicts, a relationship doesn't get stronger. Without conflicts, the individuals in relationships don't get stronger. Their conflict management skills won't get stronger. Their ability to tolerate discomfort won't get stronger, which means that the ability to deal with life stressors that could actually happen in their relationship won't get stronger too. Without conflicts, none of us will actually get better in how to better deal with situations, also how to see our own weaknesses, right? We all have strengths, but we also have weaknesses too. Conflicts can help all of us see what we are good at, what we are not good at. And when I'm working with my clients, right, even the stories that I've heard, relationships that have last longer, that have more resiliency in them, are actually the relationships that have conflicts. But the difference is having a conflict, but it's the conflict that's managing better and the conflict that's managing horribly. It's not really the conflict that's really destroying a relationship. It's not really the conflict that's destroying the intimacy or the connection in a relationship. It's how you fight, how you have conflicts, and then more importantly, how do you repair your relationship? How do you repair after you guys have a conflict, have an argument, have bickering, whatever kind of situation you have going on? That's gonna determine it. So once again, it's not the conflict that's destroying your relationship. It's how you manage the conflict and how you repair the conflict. That's gonna determine if the conflict is gonna work to your relationship advantage or it's gonna cause more damage than good. So that's what I want people to keep in mind. Conflicts are not bad for the relationship. Conflicts are necessary. Also, it's something that's natural. It doesn't matter what we do, conflict's going to happen. You can't avoid it. You can't get rid of it. Mother Nature has designed the whole system really well for all of us that we have to have conflicts just because we're all different people. So don't be scared of conflicts. You can be uncomfortable. That's really natural. Even if you're scared too, that's natural too. Don't let that fear stop you from really sometimes having that conflict with your partners because of your differences. And then also, while I'm working with my clients, right, after all these years of working with my clients, I find that there are three very common themes that people fight about when they're having conflicts. First one is power and control. That power and control, people have conflict because of power and control. Second, people have conflicts because they want to have security and safety. Third, they want to have respect and recognition. Those are the most common themes that I've seen people having conflicts about. Let's break it down, the power and control piece. I would say it's pretty normal for humans to want to have power and control in any type of relationship, right? I mean, we are humans. When we have control, when we have power, we feel better. We feel more stable. We have that sense of like, okay, I have some say in it. Actually all couples, when they first start their relationship, They all have their power and control. But I will say their power and control at the beginning of the relationship, it's more fluid, it's more flexible, it's more fair. Nobody feels like I have to dominate you. Nobody feels like you are taking advantage of you. So even though things might not be 50-50, overall the relationship feels okay. Power and control, like I said, it's human nature. We want to have that. I'm just double checking something. Yeah. So power and control, it happens. Um, you as humans, we want to have some power, we want to have control. Nothing wrong with it. Now, what happens is though, when people are together for a longer period of time, they want more. They want to have more power and more control, so they can feel safer, they can feel even more stable, they feel like they're in charge. But here's the thing though, um, usually when people are fighting for that, sometimes that's a sign that something in the relationship is not working anymore. Could be the partner, the original partner that you have decided to be with, that might be the partner that was more giving, that was more willing to do their part in the relationship. All of a sudden, they stop doing it. They might become lazier. They taking the relationship for granted, and then you feel like you're being taken advantage of. When you feel like you're being taken advantage of, then you will start doing more things to feel like I want that. I want to have some more control. Like you keep taking advantage of me. I don't like it. I gotta do something to feel like I have more control in the relationship. Power and control dynamic could also play as one person in the relationship might be more dominant than the other. The dominant one might be using aggression, might be using anger, might be using coercion, might be using violence, right, to dominate the other person. And then the person on the other side, they are more one down. So you got one up, one down situation. The one down situation, they feel like, oh, there's nothing they can do about it. They feel more powerless. They get more angry too. They get more resentful. And usually when that happens, the person that's on the one down situation, they don't stop fighting either. They actually do what they're gonna do too to get some power back. And they can do it passively. They can do it passive aggressively. They might play. I think there are some people that are like, oh, you do this to me. Now I have the right to do this back to you. I call that you offending your partner from the victim position. So I'm the victim here, but not because of that, I can do something back to you. So when you have one person that's the one up situation, the other person is the one down, but also in one down, you're still doing something aggressive, then the power and control becomes a really bad fight. Like I said, power and control, it's normal. We all want to have some power. We all want to have some control. That's being human to keep ourselves stable. It's survival mechanism. But when you really feel like this is so, it's you are being taken advantage of, anger and resentment builds up, and then you start fighting like, I'm gonna dominate you, and then I'm gonna come back at you. That type of power, that type of control, it's no longer healthy for the relationship. Now I'll move on to the next thing, right? Safety and security. As humans, we want safety, we want security. I think that's why a lot of people up there are protesting right now. We want to do the right thing. We want to have safety and security for everybody. Safety and security, it's important. Once again, you can ask for safety and security, but how do you ask for safety and security? That's going to determine the outcome, right? That's going to determine when you guys are having the conversation or having a fight about you want what you want in order to feel more safe and secure in the relationship. That will cause the impact, the final solution. Some people ask for safety and security from a very entitled position. Well, for example, because you're my boyfriend, you're supposed to do that. Because you're my girlfriend, you're supposed to take good care of me. Because we are married, you're supposed to give me sex. Because when you give me sex, then I feel safe that you are with me. Because well, we are because you're a man, you're supposed to protect me, right? We have a lot of traditional gender roles, gender information, gender myths, right, implanting a lot of our brain, our concept too. So safety and security, if you want that in your relationship and you are demanding, in some ways, if you're demanding your partner to give you safety and security, that's demand, that's entitlement, that's not really empowering yourself, that's not really empowering your partner, and that's not respectful too. And when people are feeling disrespected, they don't want to give you what you want. They might give you what you want, but doesn't mean they really want to give to you. They might just do it because they want something else out of it. They do it out of, okay, fine, I just give it to you. So you stop yapping next to me. So I would say if you really want safety and security in your relationship, or just within you, you want that from your partner, first thing first, ask yourself, have you been conducting yourself from the best in you, right? Have you been asking? Have you been requesting? Make a request. Hey, can you help me with this? Can I talk to you about it? May I? All the, I guess all the most basic common sense decency things that we tend to do at the beginning of the relationship. More often than not, we stop doing them as relationship goes further, and hence that disrupt the safety and security in the relationship too. So first thing first, don't demand your partner to give you safety and security. If you want that from your partner, you have to politely ask. Of course, I've heard clients saying that I've done that. I've done that many times. I've been very polite about it. She just doesn't want to give it to me, or he just doesn't want to give to me. Then there's a different issue. If you have really been really polite, really kind, and I know I've worked with so many clients, that's actually what they've done. They're very kind, they're very polite, they use good manner to make their request, and it didn't work. And like I said, if you have been polite about it and it didn't work, then the issue, it's not about am I being respectful or not. There's a deeper issue going on. So if you have tried to make your request with manner, with decency, to get to ask your partner to give you something and your partner is still not giving it to you, then the next time when you approach your partner, the conversation is no longer about, hey, can you please do this for me? Can you, or may we talk about it? The issue is about, I need to talk to you. I've been asking you to do this many times, and sometimes you seem like you say yes, sometimes you say no. I'm getting mixed messages, whatever the situation is. But when you have made their request politely, it's not going anywhere, then the conversation is about, I need to talk to you, that I've made the request and it's not happening. What else is going on? Usually that means there might be some unpacked resentment going on. There's unresolved issues that's going on. Or maybe your partner is not completely telling you what's going through in their mind. So, because if they made the request, they're not willing to do it. Human behavior says so much more about what's really going through in their mind. So they might say yes, but if the action is not following through, most likely the real answer is no. Then you might want to bring us like, you say yes, or you didn't even say yes, so you don't seem like you want to do it. What's going on? See how the conversation shift from making a request, asking you to give me what I need, what I want, so I feel safer, I feel more secure, to what is going on, that I've made the request and you are not doing it. You're not giving it to me. What's happening? In the past, it happened. Now it's not. And one of you has to be persistent about staying on top of it, because there's an unresolved, unspoken messages going on. One of you has to be persistent, stay on top of it to get to the bottom of it. Otherwise, the safety and the security in the relationship will be disrupted even more so, because it's a lie after a lie after a lie. And then also when it comes to safety and security, I know therapists, right? Therapists in the therapy world, but even general self-help books or relationship books that people tend to read, it's always suggest people to go to their partner first. Go to their partners or go to their boss or go to their friends, go to whoever to ask them to give you what you want. I would say that's a fine solution, but there are some people out there, like I said, you've asked them for it and they're not giving it to you. I'm always a supporter of, you do have to use your own voice, right? To vocalize, to voice what you want, what you need. You do have to reach out, to initiate, in order to get what you want. Simultaneously, you do have to build up your own inner strength. What am I going to do to get my own needs and wants met? How am I going to build myself up so I can become a stronger version of myself? So if I do go to you to ask you to give me what I need, what I want, and I'm not getting it, I have the ability in me to do what I can to get the max out of what I need, what I want, to get the most out of what I need, what I want. It's not going to be the same, because it's not. I mean, on one hand, you are asking your loved one to give you what you want. When you don't get that, it's going to be disappointing. So even if you could get it your own, the satisfaction level, the impact is not going to be the same. And guess what? That's part of life. we just don't always get what we want. So what I'm saying is use your voice, use your power to reach out. And that's something that we have to do a lot. In order to have a successful relationship, our ability to vocalize for what we want, to reach out, to initiate, it's important, it's crucial. And like I say, we don't always get what we want, what we need. So we always have to simultaneously build our internal strength. The internal strength to get what we want, what we need. That could be becoming more financially independent, to become more mechanically independent, become better at running errands, become more aware of what's going on. Whatever you gotta do, that means you have to know your own weaknesses. Anytime we ask our partner for something, okay, that's a cue for ourselves. That's an area I can work on so I can get stronger. That's part of doing the internal work. Another part of doing the internal work is you have to increase your ability to tolerate the disappointment. Life is full of disappointment. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens more often than we would like to. So when you reach out to your partner, maybe your partner is busy. For example, like just thinking out of my mind, right? Just thinking ahead, thinking aloud. If it's, for example, Valentine's Day, you want your partner to get you roses, okay? And then something happened, his car broke down. Uh-oh. So even if your partner wants to give you the flowers, but car broke down, he couldn't get the flowers on time, you're gonna feel disappointed. And you can get reactive, you can get angry, but if you could actually use that incident to recognize your anger, to actually manage your anger better, right? You are getting stronger. That way you are not as reactive. That way when you guys are in that situation, it won't become an ugly fight. So that's what I meant by you have to increase your own internal strength. Your internal strength of building your own skill set, building your internal strength to get your own needs and wants met, and also increase your own ability to tolerate disappointment, to tolerate anger, to pretty much manage your own emotional experiences. That's a really key point when it comes to safety and security too, because your partner, it's not possible. Your partner won't be able to give everything that you need, everything that you want. That means that your partner won't be able to be the full person, the only person that's going to give you that security and safety. It's both. They can provide some, and you have to do some of it yourself too. In fact, with a lot of my clients, when one person is giving a lot of the safety, security, the other person just take it without strengthening themselves ongoing. The giver, right? At the beginning, they were excited to give. Eventually, they get burned out. They get burned out, then they start giving more. Even when they do give, they feel like, oh, it's a chore, it's a chore, it's a chore. And then if they don't do anything about it, resentment build up. And then guess what happens to the receiving end? On the receiving end, you get less and less and less. And then at that time, if you don't have a good skill set, good tolerance level to actually manage what's going internally, the disappointment, the questioning, the anger, the like, oh, I don't feel like you love me anymore, hence I don't feel safe, then on the receiving end, they might start criticizing the giver more, right? They might become more reactive, they become more aggressive, and then guess what? The whole relationship falls apart. So that's on safety and security. You can ask your partner to give you what you want, what you need. You also have to have cultivate your own skill set to get your own needs and wants met, and strengthen your own skill set to tolerate disappointment when you don't get what you want. Otherwise, safety and security just won't happen. You have to be able to hold on to yourself from the inside out. Now, moving on to recognition and respect, right? They can be part of safety and security. Really, I look at power and control. I mentioned there are three themes that I witness people fighting, right? Power and control, safety and security, respect and recognition. They all really go hand in hand together. Now, when it comes to um, respect and recognition. As humans, we want to be respected. I think that's a human nature, just like wanting power control, wanting safety and security. So when it comes to respect and recognition, if you are fighting with your partner in your relationship about you want to feel more respected, you want to feel more recognized, right? The respect and recognition piece, you might want to start paying attention to what have you experienced with your partner. Have your partner humiliate you? Like humiliation, some humiliation could be much more overt. They just simply put you down. But some humiliation could be sarcasm. Sarcasm is a great excuse for a lot of people to use. Oh, just being sarcastic. But we all know sarcasm is not just pure sarcasm. Some sarcasm, especially for couples that's been in a repeated fighting pattern, sarcasm could be another way to get back to your partner. That's just another tool that people use to get their power back. Like I say, power, control, safety, security, respect, and recognition, they go hand in hand together. So if you are fighting for respect in your relationship, start paying attention to what have you seen your partner doing? What have you experienced with your partner that you want to have more respect and more recognition? Is it that your partner is putting you down verbally, overtly, covertly? Is it that your partner is, they might not say it completely in front of your face? Are they saying it more covertly? Are they saying it behind your back? Is there bickering going on? Bickering, a lot of people say, oh, we just bicker. But sometimes I look at bickering as worse than having an actual more overt fight when people like yelling and screaming. Bickering is really like low intensity warfare. It's a little bit here, a little bit there. It's much more chronic. When you have things that's more chronic, it actually builds up more tension in the long run. It's like you both are throwing knives at each other behind a mask, but you all know each other is doing it and nobody's talking about it. So if your partner is using sarcasm, if your partner is using overt language, that's easier for you to pick up. If your partner is using sarcasm, right? So I mentioned sarcasm. And if your partner is using more overt language, or if your partner just give you silent treatment, whatever it is, right? If anytime when you're interacting with your partner, you feel like something doesn't feel quite right to me. I feel like I'm violated. Don't let that go. Respect that. Hold on to that, and then really dive into it. What did I experience with my partner at that moment that didn't sit right with me? That's about the respect piece. You want to be respected, you have to respect your own experience first. A lot of people, when they are in situations like that, they either get quiet or they get really loud. They get quiet, it's like, okay, it's no big deal. But guess what? If it's no big deal once, second time it will be a big deal, third time will be a bigger deal, and fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, it will be a really big deal. So I highly suggest you that anytime you feel something doesn't sit right, respect yourself for that experience, hold on to the experience, and put it on the table. But put it on the table, that means that you're going to be quiet to more vocal. And that means that you're not going to the other extreme, right? Because I say some people get quiet, some people get loud. Loud as yelling, screaming, throwing a fit, throwing a tantrum. Neither of that is going to do you any good. So if you don't feel respected, like I said, you got to respect your own experience first. That's what it comes back to. You gotta start mapping yourself. What just happened? That didn't sit right with me. You can even like just call a pause. Let's stop. Let's pause. I want to think about what just happened, and then ask yourself, what happened that didn't sit right with me? And you have to be able to identify that, and then you have to be able to own that and put it on the table. Because if you don't put it on the table first time, might be okay, but second time, third time, fourth time, if you continue to do that, the message that you're communicating to your partner is, well, I know you offend me and I don't respect myself enough to put it up there. So if you want to have more respect, if you want to get more respect, respect yourself first, put it on the table. Hey, that doesn't sit right with me. I need to talk to you about it. Hear the difference? So I'm saying hear the difference as like, hey, that doesn't sit right with me. I'm not suggesting you to say, that doesn't sit right with me. Can I please talk to you about it? No, at that time, I will suggest be more direct. Hey, that doesn't sit right with me. I need to talk to you about this behavior or this experience I just had with you. You get to the core about it. Because it's respect. I mean, we don't want anybody to disrespect ourselves, and we definitely don't want to disrespect we don't want anybody to disrespect ourselves, and we definitely don't want ourselves to disrespect ourselves. So you get to the point, and then see what you get from your partner. If you have a partner that really like, yeah, they really own it, but they're not just owning it, say, yeah, I did it, but we can pick up bullshit pretty well. When we have people that give us insincere apology, we pick it up. We're not stupid. So if you have a partner that's giving you sincere apology and a follow through actions, then you can wrap it up most likely. But if you have a partner that's giving you insincere apology, and of course there's no actions to follow up, even if they do have actions to follow up, they will offend you again, then you know what? Then you have to come back again. This time the conversation will be, I talked to you about that experience that didn't work for me. You didn't give me a sincere apology. You just bullshitted me, and you still doing the same old shit. What the heck's going on? I'm talking, you gotta be more assertive. You don't have to be aggressive. Use the language that works for you, right? But you don't wanna be passive. You don't wanna be aggressive. You wanna be assertive. Assertive means that I've done a good enough job with myself to know that something doesn't sit right with me. I'm feeling upset about it. I'm feeling angry about it, but I'm not letting my emotions take over. I'm actually regulating myself enough, tolerating it, and then having a face to face talk with you. While I'm talking with you, I'm still maintaining that mutual respect, the integrity for the relationship. And then when you try to sidetrack me, because people find excuses. Oftentimes, when you bring up some issues with your loved one, or even with family members too, they might be like, no, that didn't happen. Or I don't know what you're talking about. They might to sidetrack you from what you actually had experienced yourself. If they try to sidetrack you, you have to stick to it. You can't let their strategy distract you from your own experience, from talking about what you need to talk about, from talking about what you want to talk about. So that's the first thing about respect. You want other people to respect you. You gotta do a really good job with yourself to stay on top of it. Now, recognition. We all want to be recognized for what we've done well. Great, right? That's part of self respect too. I do well, I want to have the recognition too. Here's the thing though, I always ask people, if you know you've done well, why do you have to go after that person to give you the validation that you've done well? I'm not saying getting it, it's a bad thing. If you get it, great. If you don't get it, we don't know the reason why you don't get it. Could be your partner is having resentment towards you. Could be your partner is still upset about something. They're just not willing to do the right thing. Then keep going, keep repeating yourself, keep going after that person to give you the validation, to give you that recognition. It's not very self-respectful. So recognition comes from the other side, more than happy, they're willing to give to you. If they don't want to give to you, you have to be able to give yourself the recognition. When you can do that, it builds inner strength, it builds self-respect, it's more self-empowering, and you're not depending on another person to give you what you need, what you want. And yeah, so overall, doing that, right, will help to, just based on all the tips I just gave, will help to minimize some of the conflicts, some of the resentment, and some of the disempowering relationship dynamics. So just to recap, right? Conflicts are normal. You have to have conflict in order to grow, in order to get stronger in yourself, in order for the relationship to be stronger too. A relationship that hasn't gone through horrible times, a relationship that repaired, hasn't repaired after you guys have the conflict, that relationship is not going to last too long. I mean, conflict is part of life. So don't be afraid of conflicts. Use them as a growing opportunity to see what you're good at, what's your strength, what's not your strength, where you can grow, how you can manage yourself better. Are you being reactive? Are you being manipulative? Are you being attacking? Are you being defensive? Use it as a mirror to see, are you really conducting yourself on the best in you that's respectful, that's maintaining the integrity of the relationship, and that even when you're upset with your partner, you can still speak with them with the utmost respect. So that's about conflict. Most the three common themes in conflicts is the people have conflicts: power and control, safety and security, wanting respect and recognition. And in conclusion, if you want your conflicts to, if you want to use your conflict to your advantage to help your relationship be stronger, you have to be able to maintain your own respect, control your emotions, tolerate the discomfort, and be direct with your partner about what's going on, not depending on them to give you the okay, to give you the green light, to say what you want to hear, and then talk about it. You have to be, if something doesn't work for you, you have to be the one that's in charge, bring it up, and stick to it instead of letting sidetrack you from talking about what you have to talk about for your own safety, for your own security, for your own respect, and for your own recognition. And that's a way to have your own power and control in the relationship too. You don't have that much power and control over your partner because that's the other human being. But what can I do to use my own power to exercise what's right for the relationship? which means that I'm not going to be attacking you. I'm not going to be defensive. I'm not going to be so loud. At the same time, I'm not going to be quiet. I think that's a healthy way of using your own power and control. It's using the power and control to push yourself to be a better version of yourself every single second, every single minute. To use your own power and control to control the volcano in you when you don't get what you want, what you need, when you don't feel safe, when you don't feel secure, when you don't feel respected, when you don't feel recognized. Use that power and control in yourself and have a heart-to-heart talk, but also really logical talk. But logical talk, I'm not about being a robot. Logical talk is like, this is what happened, I need to talk to you about it. And then another key thing about when you're having conflicts with your partner is don't have a conflict with the mindset that I'm right, you are wrong. Which means that if I'm right, I gotta win. You are wrong, you have to lose. Being right is the number one losing strategy in a relationship, especially when you guys are in a repeated fight. So don't have a conflict with the mentality that I'm right, you are wrong. Also, you don't have the conflict, and then when you guys try to repair it with the mindset that we have to come to agreement together. We have to have a resolution. A lot of the topics in a relationship requires long time talk. It's an ongoing process. Some situations may be easier. Where are we going for dinner tonight? You want Italian or you want Chinese? Those are easier. But if it comes to do you want to have a baby or not, they might require more than one time talk. They might require more than one time conflicts. But like I said before, conflicts are not bad. It's how you fight, how you have the conflict, and how you repair it that's gonna determine if the conflict is gonna be good for your relationship or not, right? So, what was that? So, having the conflicts, you don't have to have a resolution. You don't have to have agreement. That's okay. I know it feels uncomfortable because as humans, we want to know. We want to know the end. We want to know the resolution. When we know, we feel better. But guess what? Often in life, we just don't know, especially when you're interacting with another human being. So you don't have to come to an agreement. You don't have to have a resolution every time you have a conflict, every time you have a disagreement. Now that leads me to want to talk about how do you repair. Oftentimes when people have a conflict, have a disagreement, when they here's the thing, when you have a conflict, take a break. It's helpful to take a break, right? Because when things are getting really heated, it's harder for us to think straight. It's harder for us to maintain the best in ourselves, the kind of version of ourselves. So it's okay for one of you to call, hey, I need a break. If your partner doesn't agree, that I need a break. I need a break so I don't continue to be ugly. That will do more damage to the relationship. I need a break. Take a break when you come back. And now here's the trick. Most people, after they take a break from their relationship, what they do is they will ask their partner, did you spend the last 10, 15, or 24 hours, however long it is, to think about how you've screwed up? Did you know you did A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Are you going to give me an apology? Blah, 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 blah. I think most people would say that didn't work. I would say the more effective way to repair a conflict, okay, to repair a relationship after a conflict is after you take your break, when you are ready to come back genuinely, you come back. Instead of trying to hold your partner accountable, good luck with that. I don't think, here's the thing, confronting your partner or confronting anyone for what they've done, it's not a bad strategy, but it's an ineffective strategy when you are confronting someone who hasn't held themselves accountable yet. So if you want to repair your relationship after an argument, the better way to do it is when you come back, instead of trying to hold your partner accountable, hold yourself accountable. Admit what you've done wrong. I need to offer a sincere apology. While I was talking to you before, I was doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. To be as clear as possible is that you have to look at yourself in the mirror and be completely, brutally honest with yourself. What have I done? How have I contributed to the dynamic that we were in? The reason I always encourage people to be as specific as possible with your behaviors, not with your feelings, because feelings are feelings. There's nothing your partner can do about it if they don't want to do anything about it. But it's more about behaviors because behaviors are more concrete. Behaviors are things that's more actionable. So when you come back, it's like, hey, when we had that fight or when we had that interaction, I did this, this, this. The more specific you can identify what you've done, the more ways you are giving yourself. the more strategies, the more tips you're giving to yourself, what you can do differently next time. And believe it or not, whatever you could identify yourself have done wrong, most likely your partner has similar ideas in their mind too. So if you could hold yourself accountable in front of your partner, you are actually giving your partner the message that, okay, she does know what she's doing, and maybe I could trust her more. And now, of course, after you offer this sincere apology, identifying how you've contributed to the dynamic, next thing you have to do is you have to have an action plan to follow through with the apology. After you have an action plan, you have to put 110% to change the behaviors. Otherwise, don't even bother to offer an apology because those words will be empty. If you offer empty words with no change in behaviors, then you're a liar. And then next time we do it again, offer the apology again, the trust in the relationship will go lower and lower and lower. And in that sense, that type of conflict won't help your relationship be any better. So that's how you repair. Instead of trying to hold your partner accountable, hold yourself accountable. Instead of trying to get your partner to say what they've done wrong, hold yourself, be a stronger version of yourself. Own what you've done wrong and put it up there and come up with a plan, follow through with it, and change it. That's how you can repair better. And then I would say, I mean, at least I see with my clients that when both people are doing that, even though they might not always do it at the same time, relationship gets better. Because what you've done that really irks me, you are changing it, so you already eliminate one of the factors that's causing all the escalation in the relationship. That's another way to think about it. Um, so yeah, so that's conflicts, managing conflicts in relationships. Conflicts are not bad. Conflicts are vital. Actually, I have some clients based on why not about the way they fight. I will actually suggest some of my clients to fight more so they can be more vocal, so there's more honesty about what's really going on. Sometimes when they first start doing it, it's not pretty because they start yelling, they start screaming. But for me, if I have a couple that's being really keep it low, try to pretend everything's fine, be passive, it's actually better for them to go the other way because you actually bring a different type of energy, a new vitality into the relationship, more passion, more fire. And then from there, you tweak it, you tweak it, you tweak it. The words that I used before wasn't respectful, so I keep tweaking it, tweaking it, tweaking it. That way, that conflicts actually become better and better and better. Also, when you can have honest conflict like that, you learn more about your partner because people tend to say more truth, but enough's enough. That's when we have those big conflicts. They don't feel good, but you can actually, if you are willing, those conflicts don't feel good, but if you are willing to regulate yourself, to keep yourself open, right? That's what you have to regulate yourself so you can keep your mind open to listen to what your partner have to say. You might learn something more about your partner. Actually, not you might, you will. You will learn something more about your partner, and you will learn something about yourself too. We might not like what our partners are telling us about our behaviors, but take it with a grain of salt. They might not be completely wrong because we don't always like to see the ugly sides of ourselves. Conflicts are not bad. Use it to your advantage, and conflicts can be advantageous to your relationship and to your own growth too if you can manage yourself, stay open, stay curious, and still stay connected with your partners. That also goes with repair too. Hold yourself accountable, and even after you guys have a fight, if you guys have a usual way of interacting with each other, after you have a fight, most people don't want to do the usual connecting actions, right? Maybe kissing each other before you go for work, hugging each other at nighttime. A lot of people, after they have a fight, they don't want to do that. But guess what? If you want your relations to be good, to be stronger, you have to do that. You're not doing it because you want to. You gotta do it because that's what your relationship requires you to. And I'm not saying that means the fight that we had, the offensive behavior that you had done before were completely gone. No, they are not gone. We still need to duke it out. We still have to talk about that. We still have to come up with something. We need to figure out what's going on. At the same time, you have to continue the loving behaviors towards each other, for the sake of the relationship. So I think that's all I have to say about managing conflicts in a relationship. Conflicts are not bad. Conflicts are actually great. Helps you actually can help you become stronger in dealing with life events. Right? So that's conflict. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. Mm. A lot of people are not comfortable with conflicts. I really want to just tell people that conflict is part of life. Relationship goes through stability, okay, stability, instability, and then repair, and then stability again. You can have a fight this time, get over that, get ready. You're gonna have another fight coming up. So you can try your best, right? Do what you're gonna do if you want to try to avoid what naturally occurs in any human relationships, or deal with the reality. The more you deal with the reality, the stronger you get, the easier relationship become. Really, it's easier to manage, and then you learn more about your partners too. And that way, you guys can actually have more fun together. Um, so yeah, enjoy the conflict. You don't have to love it. You just have to accept it. That's part of life. Tolerate it and use this opportunity to grow yourself, to strengthen yourself, and use this opportunity to get to know more about your partner. Listen to each other. A lot of the couples that I work with, then I am listening to them. I'm like, no, you're not. You, if you are really listening to each other, listening with open heart, I'm listening to you to hear yourself the story. I'm not listening to you and then use what you say to get back at you. Then you're not really listening. You can do that at work. You can do that if you're a lawyer, do that in courtroom. If you're a mediator, debater, whatever it is, do it outside of work. But in your own relationship, if you're gonna listen to your partner and use what they say to get back at them, that won't work. Do you want a marriage? Do you want a relationship? Or do you want to win? Or do you want to stay on the top? Pick one. You don't get both. If you want your relations to be good, then you have to listen with open heart. You don't have to agree with each other. You don't. A lot of the couple even say we can agree to disagree. I don't think you have to agree to disagree because a lot of things in relationship you can't agree to disagree. Can we agree to disagree having a baby or not? No, either have it or you don't have it. There's no agree to disagree. So it's about I'm just gonna listen to you to hear yourself the your view, to hear yourself the story, to hear your position, and then see if I could use it as a learning opportunity for myself. As a way to know, oh, maybe I didn't think of it. It might hurt your ego a little bit, but hey, guess what? Sometimes, in order for the relationship to be better, you have to get your ego in check. It's not about feeling good about yourself. It's about doing what's right for the relationship. Um, yeah, so welcome conflict. You don't have to love conflict. You don't have to agree with each other when you're having conflict. All you gotta do is welcome them because you can't avoid it. Just let it be, accept it, work with it, and listen to each other and use them as a way to learn more about yourself, learn more about the other person, and strengthen your own skill set. I think conflicts can really beneficial for our own individual growth and relationship growth too. Just most people don't do it. So if you use it to your advantage, if you use conflict to your advantage and repaired it based on the ways that I've suggested to you, you will see differences. Yeah, so I have a free private Facebook group, Mastering Personal Relationships. In that group, I give more tips and give more suggestions. And you can also message me in that group too, so I can give you more individualized feedback, comments, tips to help you better navigate your relationship. I'm also doing a pilot program to help more people to be successful, not just professionally, but successful in their personal world too. It's possible to have it all. You can have a successful work, professional life. You can also have a really satisfying personal life too. So I am doing a pilot program, helping people to have more fulfilling lives and more satisfying, really intimate relationships. Have both really have a successful professional life, also having a successful personal life. If you're interested in it, yeah, message me. Then I will send you the information. Thank you. All right.